Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Liam Rose. I'm an author, mentor, life coach, motivational speaker, evangelist, musician. Now, in this audio and video, I'm going to be sharing 5 spiritual life lessons of meditation and mindfulness. By sharing these 5 spiritual life lessons of meditation and mindfulness, I'm hoping that the viewer and the listener really understands that meditation and mindfulness be one of the most important practices you do in a spiritual practice, and it can really transform your life in amazing ways, right? So let's go into the 5 spiritual life lessons of mindfulness and meditation. So, first spiritual life lesson, spiritual change. Now, when you go through a process of meditation and mindfulness, you're clearing the mind from the past, right? And you're clearing the mind from the thoughts. As you're clearing the mind from the past and the thoughts, and you're meditating in a comfortable position, your body connects with the universe. Your body connects with humanity, animals in the universe, and spiritually within inside yourself are going through a transformation. That's why a lot of people that do meditation and mindfulness always talk about the spiritual awakening. Certain things within your brain are changing when you do meditation, and you gain a spiritual awakening and a spiritual change. Now, doing mindfulness and meditation is one of the ways you can spiritually change. It's the technique and spiritual practice that helped me to spiritually change, because when I was 24, 25, I was going for a breakup with my ex-partner. I was suffering with severe mental health difficulties and challenges. I was going through a lot of mental psychotic illnesses and challenges within my life. And then I watched a video from Christian Morty and Dr. Allen about the whole different way of living. And as I watched this YouTube video, I started to learn about meditation and mindfulness. Then I practiced meditation and mindfulness. I started to do meditation at home, trying to find out why was I going through these difficult things in my life and challenges. And as I did that, I went for a spiritual change and spiritual awakening. So it's important to realize that the spiritual change can happen through meditation if you practice it when you can. But be warned, going for a spiritual change does transform your life in every single way, like it did for me. But the benefits of going through the spiritual change will help you to really help other people, give back and make a difference, and help you to become the person you want to be in life. So I'd recommend that you do meditation and mindfulness, get into a spiritual habit of practicing that spiritual practice. Second spiritual life lesson is self-knowing and spiritual presence. Now, when you do mindfulness and meditation, you start to know who you are as a human being. So you start to know your weaknesses, your challenges, your failures, your successes, your mistakes, your regrets, your inner conflicts, your barriers, your triggers, anything to do with your mind and anything to do with your body and soul, right? So when you practice meditation and mindfulness, you're becoming more knowing of yourself, because it's the practice that helps you to know yourself. As you develop the practice of mindfulness and meditation, you start to know who you are as a human being. You start to go through a process of spiritual change, which will help you to understand the no self. The no self is knowing who you are as a human being, so knowing yourself. And when you go through meditation and mindfulness, you're going through the process of understanding yourself, developing yourself, and learning about yourself. This connects you to the spiritual presence, which is part of life. So the spiritual presence can be found in meditation and mindfulness. a very still, harmonious, peaceful, joyful, happier, fulfilling state where your mind is quiet, where your thoughts are quiet, where the only thing that's connecting you and making you feel the sensations and feelings and emotions when doing meditation is just spirituality. Now, it's important to realize with mindfulness and meditation that actually practicing it day to day will help you closer to know who you are. By knowing who you are, you understand who you are as a human being. And that's the most spiritual transformation you find in life, to know who you are as a human being. When you know who you are as a human being, then everything in your life changes and you discover the no self and spirituality. So it's important to actually do meditation if you really want to know yourself. There a lot of successful people and gurus and spiritual people say to connect to oneself, you need to be in a place of stillness and silence. Silence has the answer to all life's problems and all life's answers. So if you go into mindfulness and meditation and practice silence, you start to find that you find the spiritual presence of God and Jesus Christ and Buddha within that stillness. So it's important to really, really understand that you need to practice meditation, mindfulness to get into that spiritual state of peace, harmony, and joy, and fulfillment, and happiness. That connects you to the spiritual presence and also gives you self-knowing. And when you know yourself as a human being, you start to do the work of helping other people because you understood that you may have gone through certain things, you may have gone through certain challenges, but now you can use your inspiration and motivation to help other people, give back and make a difference to people's lives. So meditation and mindfulness helps you to find self-knowing. Third spiritual life lesson, self-awareness. So you become more aware of who you are as a human being when you do meditation and mindfulness. You're more aware of nature, more aware of humanity, you're more aware of the animals, you're more aware of what's going on within the world, the society, and the universe that we live in. And by being self-aware, you find out more things about yourself. There might be things about your past that you've been through that it's been very challenging and difficult that you need to overcome. There might be things in your present that you're finding difficult and challenging. There might be things that's coming in your future that might be difficult and challenging. But practicing meditation and mindfulness helps you to become more aware of who you are. And when you're more aware of who you are, when you do go through difficult times and challenges and situations, you can learn how to manage it in a healthy, positive, productive way. That's why it's very, very important that you do practice mindfulness and meditation and build your spiritual practice. But also by building your spiritual practice and mindfulness and meditation, you're also learning about yourself and becoming more self-aware. So it's very, very important. And this will help you in all parts of your life. So from your faith life to your spiritual life to your daily life. So it's very important to practice meditation and mindfulness. So the fifth spiritual life lesson is faith and spirituality. Because you're spiritually changing when you're doing mindfulness and meditation, because you're going through a process of the body becoming the no self and discovering the no self, you find your faith and spirituality. Now, I can't tell the listener or the viewer what faith to choose and what path to go down because each human being has to make that decision for themselves, right? But when you practice meditation and mindfulness, you may go down the path of Christianity, may go down the path of Buddhism or Hinduism or Sikh or Muslim or Judaism. So it doesn't really matter what religion you choose when you find your faith and spirituality. Spirituality is different from faith. Spirituality is about who you are as a person, your spiritual side to your life, connecting with something higher than yourself. Faith is what gives you the hope, the confidence to live your life through your spirituality. So if you choose a religion to find your faith, which might happen through meditation and mindfulness, that'll be a good thing to do. But there's no like right or wrong religion that you need to go into. Each religion has different dogmas and different rules, different principles that we need to live by. But choose something that helps you to be more present still and helps you to find your faith and spirituality. So for me, I chose the Christianity path and Buddhism just because, I've always believed in God. When I was younger, I always knew there was something more to my life than just the day-to-day living, and I always knew I was destined for something, significant and greater within life. So Christianity has always been my religion, believing in Jesus Christ and God. But also I believe in Buddha. So I have a Buddhist sort of philosophy, like the no self, selflessness, helping other people, trying to live life where I'm fulfilling my calling and fulfilling my dogma within life. And I'm living life, even though I've not been perfect all my life, but I'm living life that is righteous and honoring Jesus Christ and God and Buddha helping me. So those are the path I chose, but you could choose a different path. All I'm trying to say is that meditation will help you to connect with your faith. Your faith sometimes can be connected to your intuition and your spiritual side of your life. Your intuition is your spiritual guidance, right? So when you find a faith that's important to you and a spirituality that's important to you, that will guide you within your life every single day, and you will learn things about yourself, other people, how to live life through your intuition. So it's very important that by practicing meditation and mindfulness, you learn more about yourself and develop the skills and the habits to live your life, which is very important. But faith and spirituality comes when you do meditation and mindfulness. You will develop it naturally as you continue to meditate and do mindfulness. And then the fifth spiritual life lesson is spiritual knowledge and wisdom. So every person that's done meditation and mindfulness has gone through a process of spiritual knowledge and wisdom, because you gain knowledge and you gain wisdom by understanding yourself. When you have the no self, you've understood who you are as a human being. So you can live your life free from problems, situations, circumstances. That doesn't mean you don't go through problems. That doesn't mean you don't go through situations. That doesn't mean you don't go through circumstances. It just means you have a more spiritual awareness of yourself and you know yourself, right? So with knowing yourself becomes spiritual knowledge and spiritual wisdom. A lot of spiritual teachers and gurus within life have all done a practice of meditation and mindfulness. When they started to meditate and do mindfulness, developed knowledge and wisdom. And then when you develop knowledge and wisdom, you start to teach people, you start to help other people. You start to share your life with others through different ways. So through podcasts, audios, messages, videos, books, talks, events, conferences, ebooks, workshops, conferences, public speaking events, motivational speaking events, sermons, and the list can go on, the way you share your inspiration and knowledge and wisdom. Now, the meditation and mindfulness is the key for spiritual knowledge and wisdom. When you have spiritual knowledge and wisdom, you're connected to a higher power. You're connected to God. Because obviously, your spiritual knowledge and wisdom comes from the person that gave it to you, which is God. That's why in meditation and mindfulness, you find that connection with humanity and with life. So that spiritual knowledge and wisdom needs to be shared to others. That's why it's important to do videos, it's important to do books, audiobooks, ebooks, conferences, messages, audios, whatever way to share your knowledge and wisdom to the world, because there's a lot of people that haven't gone through a meditation practice or mindfulness practice. So sometimes in life, the way to pay it forward and the way to really help other people and give back is by sharing who you are. And when you share who you are, you're sharing your life with the world and the universe and humanity and the animals and the creation of life and God. So it's important that you share your life to others. And when you share your life to others, that's when you're living no self, because your life, through the spiritual knowledge and wisdom that you've gained, becomes a life of contributions to others. And you're serving others in the most important way for you. It's important to find a way to channel your knowledge and wisdom. For me, I try to do podcasts, videos, and audios, and write books. Those are the ways I'm trying to share the knowledge and wisdom that's in my mind that God's given me to humanity, right? But each person will have a different way of how they want to share the knowledge and wisdom. But it's very important you share what you know, you know? Life is like a short journey, right? It's very temporary, right? So we don't live forever. So it's important to share your spiritual knowledge and wisdom to the world. Like I've always said before, leave a legacy behind. If you leave a legacy behind that helps other people, gives back and make a difference, then, you know, that will be remembered in eternity, and Jesus Christ and God and Buddha will be there for you. So it's important that you develop your spiritual side, and the spiritual knowledge and wisdom can only be gained through mindfulness and meditation and understanding what God has put inside of you. And it's like an example that I normally use. When you have a seed, so you have a seed, right, from a plant or a flower. Put the seed into the ground, into the soil, right? Put water over the seed to make it grow. You don't see nothing at the very beginning when you're watering the seed. Normally, the seed grows underground, so the roots start to form underground. That's the spiritual knowledge and wisdom you're gaining from God. Because when you're meditating and doing mindfulness, you're slowly learning more about yourself. You're learning more about life and humanity and animals in the universe. And you're learning more about spirituality and faith. So the roots are growing on the underground as you're meditating and doing mindfulness. Slowly after that, once you've gained a level of enlightenment or spirituality and faith, that's when the flower grows and it blossoms out and it produces a flower, a plant, or a tree, or a blossom. Bringing the flower out and bringing it into humanity and into reality is what we need to do once we've gone through the spiritual change, right? Now, spiritual change is the most important thing in life. Spiritual knowledge and wisdom comes from a spiritual change. Once you have a spiritual change, then your life becomes a life of the no self. The no self is the secret of life. Life that is a spiritual contribution to others. So it's important, once you gain the knowledge and wisdom, which will take a long, long time to really gain the knowledge and wisdom. Once you do gain it, share it with the world, because there's other people that need to hear your knowledge and wisdom, and there's other people that need to hear your inspiration. So, like I said in this video today, for the 5 spiritual life lessons of meditation and mindfulness, these are the things that can help you to really make your difference, to really help other people, to live honoring Jesus Christ and God and Buddha, and also to leave a legacy behind. So, just before we finish, just to repeat the 5 spiritual life lessons. So, number 1 was spiritual change. Number 2, self-knowing, spiritual presence. Number 3, self-awareness. Number 4, faith and spirituality. Number 5, spiritual knowledge and wisdom. So these are the 5 spiritual life lessons that can come from meditation and mindfulness. I hope this audio and this video has helped you there, viewers, and I hope you do go through a little practice of meditation and mindfulness. And there's no right or wrong way of doing meditation and mindfulness. It's something that you do, as you're living your life and, trying to learn more about spiritual practice. But just spend, starting off, like 5 minutes to 10 minutes every day doing meditation and mindfulness. and then increase the time as you get more practice and you start to develop your habits. And that will help to develop your faith in your spirituality, and you'll find an important spiritual side to your life through meditation and mindfulness. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for listening to this audio. Um, Obviously, I've been sharing on my new YouTube channel, spiritually helping other people, and I hope this actually helps you, there, viewers and listeners. And as always, thank you for being there. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening now. Take care now. Goodbye, and thank you. Bye.